Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Hickory Public Schools Board of Education. Tonight is Monday, March 8th. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum this evening. We're missing one board member, but there are 6 of us here. The first item on the agenda, information and discussion items. First item is memorandum of understanding with Watauga Opportunities. Tammy Beach, I think you're presenting this.
Good evening. Okay, so this evening, I'm bringing before you a memorandum of understanding. I met with Watauga Opportunities about 3 weeks ago. Watauga Opportunities is going to hopefully be able to work with our OCS students, our occupational business studies students, to give them an opportunity to have additional pre-employment skills training. And so one of the things that they have talked to us, there is going to be academics, then as well as they have an opportunity for internships, they have an opportunity for paid employment. They will be working closely with David Cox with vocational rehab. So this is another opportunity to give our EC students a way for them to get some pre-employment training opportunities. This will also count any time that they work with Watauga Opportunities. That will also count towards their hours for graduating, so it will be with their, they have so many hours that they have to complete depending upon what year they enter in the OCS program. So it's a really good opportunity for our students. They also like to hire someone that knows Hickory High and or HPS, so they are going to be looking for someone with the inside information so that they don't have to learn the schools. Somebody hopefully that already has a basic understanding of both high schools. And they will be working with both schools, students in both schools, Hickory High as well as HPS. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Does this replace a service that we already have, or is this a new service?
This is an addition to, this is not in lieu of,
Okay.
so it will be added to.
I didn't see anywhere where there's a cost to us.
There is no cost to us. They take care of all background checks. They take care of everything.
Well, that sounds like a win.
Absolutely. So I hope you'll approve it at their next board meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. The next item, Dr. Adele, is going to be the summer work schedule.
Thank you, Chair. In looking at the calendar, we'll be proposing that the administrative offices in all schools will work a summer work schedule of 10 hours a day Monday through Thursday. All locations will be closed on Friday. The summer work schedule will begin on Monday, June 7th, 2021 through August 6th, 2021. The summer hours will be from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. or from 8 to 6. The week of July the 5th through the 9th will be an 8-hour work week due to the observance of the July 4th holiday. The administrative office hours during the summer will be from 7 to 5. We will resume a normal schedule that will begin on Monday, August 9th, 2021.
Any questions about that? I think that's what y'all do every summer, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Standard operating procedure. And we'll vote on that next meeting. Next item for the evening is the reopening updates. Angela Simmons.
Okay, good evening, everyone. And we've got good news in our reopening update, so that's always exciting to hear. So here's our regular dashboard, and you can see the first link will take you to the NC County Alert System. And right now, as of March 4th, there are only 6 counties in the state left in red. Remember, when we first started this, there was 85 and 86 and all that. Now it's down to 6, and we are in the orange. So we're moving on down. That's very good. Our percent positives, you can see Catawba County is at 5.6%, and that is a substantial decrease from our last time we were together, well, when it was updated. And then total cases is at 17,614, and you can see the difference in almost that month's time frame of how few it has increased. And then the other new one that they're putting on there is the percent of Catawba residents that have been vaccinated. And on March the 3rd, that was 9%. That's a new addition. For our students, as of this morning, since August, we have tracked 1,098 students. We've had 1,084 that are clear to return, which means we're only tracking 14. And you can see it still goes back to community exposure as being our largest. We've had 205 of that 1,098 that have tested positive, and we can still say during the school day we've had 0 transmission. And of our employees, we've tracked 406, 402 are cleared to return, so very exciting. We only have 4 that we're currently tracking. And since our last report, there have been no new cases within our staff members.
Great.
These numbers are looking so much better than what I used to get to share with y'all. So this is exciting. Our attendance summary does have an update on there this time because of our last PMR has come through on March the 1st. So you can see Hickory High's on top, so I always share them first, but you've got access to all of the schools. In 2019, their attendance, daily attendance was 85%, and in 2020, it's 74%. And you can see the big difference between December to now. It was 82.86 last time, now it's 74. And that includes the time frame where we included to every student had to check in or on that day, or they would be marked absent. Prior to that, we were allowing students, if they didn't check in on that day, but they completed work, then they could go back and be counted present because they did the work from that day. But students are now required to check in every day, so that's why you'll see some of that decrease. I'm expecting for that to, the attendance percentages to start increasing now. The students are used to that change and they know the requirements and all of that. So hopefully by our next month, you'll see that 74% at Hickory High increase.
So what counts as, you said they have to check in? I mean, is that literally a one check-in, I'm here?
Not at the high school. The high school is period attendance, so they have to
Each
check in.
period,
Mhm.
Okay.
At each time, HPM is the same way.
What about for the middle and elementary?
Middle and elementary, they're checked in through their homeroom or advisory. And that's the way attendance is done in the state for that. Now, we can look at ways next year, not this year in the middle of the year, for middle schools to do period attendance as well. But for truancy purposes and PMR, it only pulls from that one time a day for elementary and middle.
So for the high school, doing it per period, at what point are they considered absent? Do you have to have all 4 periods checked in?
You have to check in at least 2 periods per half day. Same thing like with the elementary schools. Say your start time is 8. If you're there after 11:30, I'm making those term name numbers up a little bit, but then you're counted absent, even if you show up at 11:35. You're still
Oh, you
counted
have a
absent.
doctor's note or something like that?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Now, remember, starting in the next month, we're not going to be able to do the comparison to last year because this is about the time we closed out on March 13th. So we didn't have attendance after that point in time last year.
So it looks like in general, our middle and high schools attendance has dropped, but our elementary school and some of the schools actually has increased. What do you, I mean, is there a rationale for that or a reason?
I
For why that is it easier now that, they can check it online? And so if a kid's sick, they can actually still go to school. I mean, what
And
do you
we've
think?
had some of that to where kids have had a little bit of a fever, but they feel okay, but they can still check in online at home, but they can't come to school because they have a fever. And our kids are out in quarantine, they can still check in, different things like that. But now our kids that are absent a lot.
So it seems to be the same kids who are chronically.
It is.
Okay. I mean, it's hopeful to me that in elementary schools, you're actually seeing this, maybe hit a couple extra kids that you wouldn't have otherwise reached. So I think that's positive news.
So public health updates, their website is still there. Make sure you have that with their dashboard. They do update their dashboard quite often, it's regularly. Vaccine rollout, keep that on there, but it's pretty much hitting so many people right now that we're getting, it's wonderful. March 3rd was the last update from NCDHHS and the toolkit. And then CDC, they did give us information for quarantines after vaccines. We haven't reached that point yet, because our next vaccine date is March the 20th. But after that time, we'll be able to change a little bit with the way we're quarantining those adults with the vaccines. So, a really exciting new stuff. The school nurse position, the interviews have taken place, and they are going to be making an offer. So hopefully we'll hear back soon, and then they'll go through their onboarding process and training process, and we'll have a new nurse. So that's exciting. Our vaccine clinic went great. February 27th, public health and folks, they did a fabulous job. Very well organized. Everybody was in, did what they needed to do, and out. It was wonderful. So far, we've had about 394 staff members vaccinated. Clinic or outside sources or some since the clinic have been added into that number. And this includes our bus drivers, cafeteria staff, substitute teachers, long-term subs, coaches, some of our volunteer coaches, and so forth on that. And then our next dose is on March the 20th. So, and if employees can't attend, then they'll need to sign up through the regular public health format. Or now, as more vaccines are being out, they can go private, how all that stuff is now. I left our resources up here. The ABC Collaborative is starting another study to see about transmissions within schools, and our data will be included in that. And then our staff series for surviving in a COVID world, those are all still linked there, and we've got one more session this week. We've had not a ton of staff members to attend, but we've had staff members talking about going back and rewatching the videos and things like that, and positive comments from those. Any questions?
I have a question. Thank you for sharing good news.
I know.
And with those numbers falling in the right direction and teachers being able to get vaccinated, has there been any discussion amongst leadership about our current schedule for Wednesdays?
I'm going to turn that over to Dr. Again.
Okay.
Oh.
No, my question was about Wednesdays. With our numbers falling and teachers being vaccinated, has the leadership had any discussion about our current schedule for Wednesdays or any thoughts about return to learn on Wednesdays?
And I'm assuming you're referencing elementary students going that fifth day. It's totally at the discretion of the board. I think that I've had that conversation with our principals. They knew that the time would come where we would more than likely be asking for that fifth day. In talking with teachers through the advisory council, that they're comfortable with Wednesdays being as it is because it allows them to connect with kids who are remote. They're still teaching two types of kids, one in person and those that are remote. It also allows for them to do assessments so that they can bring the remote kids in and do assessments in what would be considered a safe environment. But at this point, we will defer back to the board and whatever decision the board makes.
I'd actually love to talk about that. I mean, as middle school and high school, I know you kind of limited to elementary, but has there been any discussion about bringing middle school and high school back?
No.
The high schools are a week and a week, so it's one cohort there. So it's not like that Wednesday clean between cohorts.
The 6 through 12 is at the discretion of the governor. And he has not.
Oh, the Wednesday.
No, I'm not talking about Wednesday. We can, if you're talking about factoring in high school kids and middle school kids on Wednesdays, we can do that as well. That's totally at your discretion.
Any other questions there?
I would like to, for us to strongly consider increasing our face-to-face instruction once teachers have had that final vaccination. I know that they still got a couple of weeks for that, and I would certainly like to have some more discussion on that and some thoughts from leadership as far as that goes. But I do understand, wanting that vaccination in, and also, I know that time to work with smaller groups has been beneficial. But I'm also concerned about the kids that we're missing and that we're losing on a daily basis. And getting them in the building as much as we can, so.
Ms. Temple, I would add that, we can certainly add that discussion to the agenda for the end of the month. I do believe, though, that we can look at in April as a time to consider bringing them back, because I think spring break is at the beginning of April, so maybe after that time would be a time for you all to look at to see whether or not you'd be comfortable in bringing them back in.
And that would coincide too, I think, with 2 weeks after the second dose.
That is correct. Yes,
So
sir.
that would be, okay.
And I just wanted to mention something on that, that also concerns me with being out again, just as we did over the Christmas holiday, being out with family and whatnot, and water crash, you never know. But having some type of a quarantine phase before they come back, that's what concerns me. And we'll just, I'm sure we'll be doing whatever CDC, mandates.
Any other questions about reopening or comments? Thank you. The next, we only have one action item this evening, and that's to award a bid to Southwest Primary for their office renovation project. Adam,
Adam's not here, I will stand in, I'll
Okay.
do my best to serve in his capacity. The board has requested to award the project of the Southwest Primary Office renovations to TC Strickland Construction Company. The bids were received from Marlowe Building Company, New Grading and Construction, and TC Strickland. And as you can see from the tabulations, the project for TC Strickland Construction Company, the low bid was $57,600.
any questions about that? The bid? When is this supposed to begin, do you know? Is it gonna be the summer?
It will be the summer.
Summer. Any other questions or comments? If not, I need a motion to award the contract to TC Strickland Construction Company, that's right, that's, yes, for the renovations of Southwest Primary Office. Have a motion, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, that has passed. Any other items before we go into closed session that the board wanted to bring up?
The only other item is my apologies that I was distracted back there. A question of my own when we stabilized her, so that was my fault. Due to a combination of our short agenda and Mr. Campbell being tied up, he was communicating with me about in Burke County. It would probably be well after 7 before he could get here. It was essentially not going to be that long. He had suggested that he could, rather than adjourning tonight, he could recess, and we could even have a meeting, reconvene on Wednesday, for example. We could do that Wednesday evening, or some of the time this week, we can get together with a special call meeting. But given your time, and given the time at which we're going to finish, his uncertainty whether it be 7 or close to 7:30, it's something for consideration as how you all might handle that.
I would suggest maybe before we leave tonight, let's set up a time to do that, so we've got that on the calendar. If you want to wait, I'm happy to wait around, and I guess that's probably not what you want to do, but I'm not sure, whatever.
His suggestion, I think, given what he's anticipating time-wise, being and it's a little longer than what he is anticipating, is that maybe, that we could either do rather than adjourning tonight, we do a recess, which is essentially a continuation of this meeting to the time we want to post specific number, so that if you were to be able to get together, for example, in 48 hours, not to wait that time, as you're announcing it tonight. But I know he has a board meeting tomorrow night, and he doesn't have anything on Wednesday. I know those folks may have church obligations or something for nature as well. It'd be whatever the board's pleasure is, I will step out and make a call meeting and try to figure out that time to work.
What we think about it, and what we want to do after closed session, we can kind of coordinate how we want to deal with that.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
I'd like to move that the Board of Education go into closed session for the following reasons: to consider candidates recommended for employment by the Administration and Supervisory Board and General Statutes 1.3.318.11, and to discuss other personnel matters in accordance with the North Carolina Personnel Act.
I have a motion to go into closed session. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, we're in closed session. Thank you, everyone. Okay. So I wanted to open back up the topic of how we get back with Chris Cambridge.
He just communicated back to me again that his availability actually, anytime tomorrow, Thursday or Friday, he can also make happen, depending on what your schedule is. The only reason we need to decide at this point in time is if we're gonna recess. I mean, if we were to do it Thursday or Friday, we could probably, we could do the notice. So if everybody's not sure, let's look for one of those 2 days, and then we'll have the 48 hours to do the notice. But if it were to be, say, tomorrow, or if everybody knew right now, we wanted to do it, we could just recess it.
It's tomorrow night is the NAACP.
Yes.
It's 7.
Okay,
I mean, it might, well, I was gonna say, it might be nice to do it before that. I'm planning on doing that.
5, sometime around 5.
How long do you think it's gonna take?
I think you can really hear most of this thing, answer questions and give you an idea of what they provide, what you have. I have, did hear the book today, so I have a, copy of the draft survey that they talked about. So I can email that to you. If we recess and announce it at the meeting, where we are, we just announce it to a time specific, we're in compliance. Before you have it, even if we do it tomorrow.
Tomorrow's good for me because I already had some plans for you, so it's easy to add on to it.
What time would you all?
Yeah. Is that by Zoom or direct? So that gives me 5 minutes.
We can do it, I think we can recess it to another place. It doesn't have to be here.
Admin office? Yeah. Is that easier for people to do it at the admin office? It'd be easier for me. So why don't we recess this meeting until 5:30 tomorrow at the admin office? And that'll give us an hour or so to have that meeting and get to do it. Right. Does that work for everybody?
I don't think it will be very, well, I think length of it, you know, what you wanted that.
That gives us an hour. I feel like that's plenty of time to get it.
So instead of making a motion to adjourn, let's make a motion to recess to the admin building.
So you want to make that motion? Have a motion to recess until tomorrow at 5:30. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?